Hello beloveds, my name is Evonne from Embody Mother and welcome to the Cycle Report for the 10th of February 2019, and I come from Dja Dja Wurrung country in central Highlands, Victoria, Australia. So here we are, 1 week past Lammas today, or tomorrow really, and that feels like what's happened this week. There's been a bit of a shift in energy because it was only this time last week that we had these fires to the north of us, and there was fires down in Tasmania to the south of us, and there was flooding up north. I think there's still flooding up there. So, it feels like the point of transition in the earth, moving from, getting rid of anything that still had left to be transformed or move through. And even it's so devastating, which, it's also transformation. And even though it can be really hard and heartbreaking, it is always going to be a point of transformation. So it really feels like we've had this massive fever, and we're coming off the point of that, and there's some relief in that here on this land, and it feels very much like going through menopause, which is what Lammas is equivalent to. So menopause on the life cycle of a woman, going through these massive points of transition. And my teacher, Jane Hardwicke Collings, says, menopause is the mother of all wake-up calls. It's like anything that you haven't dealt with throughout your whole cycle through maiden and mother all shows up in menopause to be dealt with. So you can move through to your Marga stage, fully powered and ready to just spread your magic out there, which is all about being in the Marga phase. So the earth is in that point of transition here on this land. We're just getting rid of all that no longer serves us as we go into the descent. So it's also not only just about the harvest of the good things, it's also the harvest of the things that need to be cleared. So we go into the next phase of the descent into winter, which is all about the inner self and being inwards. You think that we all come around, we start cuddling by the fire, and it's a lot of internal thinking because there's a lot of dark times. The dark is dark, well into the morning, and dark well in, early at night. So you have this smaller phase of light. So within the darkness, I think that's where you can go to inside when we go into the descent. So it's best to go into that phase, actually not really having any of the baggage that you can carry and dwell with in those dark places, and to come into it as feeling, a point of rest and ease, and come into the body, into the dreamscape, which is all about that sort of, that midnight and night time sort of energy. Yes, so that has been the earth phase, but I feel like also that we've just come out of 2 major eclipses. So last moon cycle, so we've just finished. So the dark moon was last week, and now we're just seeing a slither of the crescent moon just starting to appear in our skies after being in the dark phase. And it feels like to me that the 2 eclipses from the last moon cycle, that we're in this recovery mode or taking the gold with us to the next moon phase cycle from those 2 really intense, eclipses. And eclipse seasons are always about dragging up anything that dwells underneath the shadowland or the underworld to be examined, and what is it that we need to let go to live a more whole life and a more happier and blissful life. And for me personally, that was a massive moon cycle, and lots of really almost like sacred wound stuff was coming up. Well, it was sacred wound, my safety in the world, and can I trust the unfolding of everything? Can I trust my man? Can I trust myself? Can I trust everything that's going on around me? Can I be safe in that? So that was what's coming up. And I feel like even though it's still there, and I still it feels like a bit more of a settling down that I've worked through to say, yes, well, actually, I am safe and I can trust and all will be well. And yeah, it feels like all this childhood stuff came out in the last moon cycle. So I feel like that in my bones is starting to just, become more concrete, I guess, and settling in. So it feels like just a huge period of time of points of transition and moving through the old stuff and getting rid of the old and watching the harvest come through, you know, start trickling through of the things that, you know, were put in and things that I wanted to do last, you know, from August, September, October, November, December. You know, the wishes and dreams that I'd put out there are starting to come into fruition. You know, the fruit's starting to come in now too, as well as all the other stuff that, you know, the shadowy stuff. So, whew, it's such a big time of moving through stuff, which is, you know, I guess that's what menopause is, isn't it? Is, you know, clearing the way to move into that more empowered state. So I guess that's all coupled up too with my personal cycle. So I am on day 28. So I am really on that cusp of bleeding, and you know that I'm feeling myself being more internal and just really observing things more. And you know, I feel like it's, you know, looking for the joy has been, I guess, the result of my shadowy underworld journey through the 2 eclipses, and just, you know, dreaming the good dreams and looking for the good dreams that already exist. You know, listening to my children laugh, you know, and just feeling how that feels in my body, and you know, that dreaming scape, that's where I'm going into, and that's where I am at the moment, you know. And again, this phase is not really honoured in our culture, so I think it's important to, you know, even, you know, that's a clue, actually, what my teacher Jane Hardwicke Collings would say, that anything that is seen as a taboo or negative in a patriarchal culture is a clue as to where the magic is. So, and this bleeding time is certainly where the magic is, where you can sit in your good dreams and, you know, really rest and allow your body to rest, because it's doing all that astro-cosmic work that, you know, women used to go out to the red tent together in the tribe, because they used to bleed together and sit in the red tent and bring back the prophecies from that bleeding time to the village as to when, you know, when to plant the grain and what to do. So it's such a potent time, the bleeding time. So I'm feeling actually really relieved and excited to be moving into that. So I guess that point of thinking that also relief is coming in my bleeding, my body cycle, is feeling really nice right now. So that is the cycle report. The questions for if you hold a red tent, or even some journaling questions that you might want to consider, would be, you know, what are you calling in on this new moon? And how does the bleeding part of your cycle, so if you're a woman, how does the bleeding part of your cycle sit within you? You know, has it been a taboo thing, or is it still a shameful thing for you? You know, drop in and explore that for a little bit. Events that are coming up next weekend, we start the opening gathering for the 4 Seasons journey for the School of Shamanic Womancraft in the Otways of Victoria. The link is then below. That's a full year journey, travelling with the cycles and diving deep into self, and you know, it's like a leadership course for women, really. And you know, getting to know how getting to know about yourself and to your connection back to the land, and it's really about a journey back to wholeness. So that opening gathering is next weekend, so we're making final calls for that in the next couple of days. From March, I'll be holding an online circle. We had one the other day, and it was just amazing. The women there who showed up we just dived straight into what menopause was like and what was coming in the dark moon. It was just so delicious, and it was so lovely to have, you know, all these mums there have just put their little ones to bed, and I just put my little ones to bed too. So it was like such a rich and heart-warming, woven stories experience. So I'm feeling very blessed and honoured to those women who showed up, and I thank you. And so if you want to be a part of that, we'll be running more circles starting from March. So again, click on the link below if that's something that is interest of you. And also that I'll be starting to take one-on-one, it's like a doula, a transition doula. So if you feel like you're in a point of transition in your life and you feel like you need someone just to hold your stories and to hold your thoughts, I am open for anybody who feels a need that they need someone like that. So I'm not too sure if I sold that very well. Anyway, I'm in bleeding time. Yes. So from my heart to your heart, I hope that this new moon phase, and wherever you are in the earth cycle, you know, whether it be in bulk or here at Lammas, that it is rich and abundant, and that wherever you are in your body cycle, may you be attuned and feeling that magic that it is being alive. So much love. Thank you.